Hi, I'm Stu Krieger, a professor in the Department of Theater, Film, and Digital Production at UC Riverside. We're here in my home office, and I'm going to share with you some of the memorabilia I've collected over my 30-plus years in Hollywood. Behind me here is a wall of one still from every project I did over the 30 years, and Zenon is right there. We have the Z-Quel right there, and Z3 down there. This is one of my prized possessions. It's a letter I received from Stephen Spielberg when I wrote the first of 4 episodes of Amazing Stories. And as you might imagine, Stephen was in North Carolina shooting The Color Purple. I turned in the script to the executive producers and then got this letter from him telling me that it was one of his favorite episodes of the season, signed Stephen Spielberg, and one of my other favorite parts of it is, "Dear Mr. Krieger." So I love that I was Mr. Krieger and he was Stephen Spielberg. Those of you old enough to remember when The Land Before Time came out in 1988, one of the promotional tie-ins was from Pizza Hut that had a series of puppets of all of the characters, and this is Petrie from that original set. I was one of several writers on the Pauly Shore movie In the Army Now, and on the first day of production, I got a package on my front door, opened it up, and found a genuine Army helmet In the Army Now, marking the first day of production on that film, and it's remained here in my office ever since. This is a very special piece that I received when we were doing a troll in Central Park. And what it is when the animators are drawing, they make several 3-dimensional models that they can then look at from several different angles to understand how the characters look from each position. The children in Troll in Central Park are named Gus and Rosie, which coincidentally are the name of my kids. So when the film was completed on Father's Day that year, the animators gave me this model of Gus and Rosie inscribed "Happy Father's Day" from the team at Troll in Central Park. One of my favorite projects for the Disney Channel was the original Zenon Girl of the 21st Century, and eventually I did also write the 2 sequels. Now what this is it's a rendering the artist did for the classroom in Zenon, if you remember the holographic teacher. And what was really exciting about this and every film I ever worked on is there's nothing quite like the thrill of the first day you walk onto a set and you think back, I was alone in my office dreaming up all this stuff and suddenly it's all here. And so the first Zenon shot up in Toronto. I got to go up for the rehearsals in the first week of shooting, and the producer said, "You want to see the space station?" It's like, yeah, I do. And suddenly you're walking through, and what was first in my brain, then an artist rendering, is there in 3 dimensions, and you get to see the entire space station come to life. So what we have here is a still from The Phantom of the Megaplex, which I also did for Disney Channel. And one of the really wonderful things about this for me was the co-star was Mickey Rooney, who was a legendary Hollywood guy that I knew from my own childhood, who predated me by a couple of generations, and then ended up in my movie Phantom of the Megaplex with the young cast, and that was pretty cool. This is an actual cell from the making of Land Before Time, and one of the really thrilling things was after the film was made, the animators gifted me this and one other cell that's in our family room, but both of them feature Littlefoot and the tree star. And part of the reason for that was I was the guy that came up with the term tree star for the leaves. And one of the things that was really fun about working on this movie is you have Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Don Bluth, John Pomeroy, his producer, all sitting around a table arguing about what a dinosaur would or wouldn't say.